Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier factory authorized dealer.
Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract, brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow, raised by generations, willing to sip, share, risk, remember. This is a story bigger than beer. This is the story of the American spirit.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together.
Hello everybody and welcome to Sheboygan A's Baseball. Alongside the intern Charlie Heim, I'm Mike Martin. Tonight the A's play the first place Menasha Max in a Northeastern Wisconsin League game. Sheboygan played Menasha back on June 8th and lost that game up in Menasha 4-1. They're hoping to turn that around. Sheboygan is coming off a win at Appleton on Tuesday night, a 4-0 shutout by Dylan Davis. Did a fine job. Sheboygan only had 7 hits, but they made them count for the 4 runs. And they were able to escape a 9th inning jam, Davis was, by striking out a couple of batters and then getting the final out on a fly ball, and that was all with the bases loaded. So good win for them. And we got rained out last night against the Greenville Stars, but hopefully we can get the job done here tonight against Menasha. Brad Reinflesch will be starting for us, so that's always a good sign. He's a good pitcher. We look forward to seeing him. Let's go through the Menasha batting order. Chase Hanselman lead it off, playing short. Jack McKillips is in right field, batting second. Batting third and playing center field, Nolan Harkey. Batting fourth, the first baseman, Nick Lenzendorf. Batting fifth and playing left field, Ryan Sita. Batting sixth, the second baseman, Drew Johnson. Ryan Hinsky is the DH and bats seventh. Batting eighth is the catcher, Ben Burring. And batting ninth, the third baseman, Devin Brown. The starting pitcher for the Max will be Jack Grable. Defensively for Sheboygan, they have Jimmy Jurgensen at first, Jacob Neese at second, Harry Stelt at third, and Riley Palmquist at short. Bennett Becker is in left, Gus Walker in center, Brady Zackerson in right, Justin Schnell catching, and Reinflesch pitching. Charlie, we've lost a couple guys since the last time we were on the air. Tell us about that.
Indeed, a number of people going out for the year. We did mention in our last broadcast Eric Schmidt's involved in an all accident that will take him out for the year. Of course, always hoping for a recovery for that. Not due to injury, but just due to moving on to the Northwoods League. Jack Council as well as Carson Hansen, both leaving the Sheboygan A's.
Prior to those two guys, we lost a pitcher by the name of Ryan Rail, moved to the Northwoods League too. So we've lost a couple this year.
number of losses. I do have the final stats on the year for Council and Hanson.
Yeah, that's kind of it hurts when they're gone. Were they 341 and 340?
Jack Council, as will Council 340 on the 340 average, 393 on base, and a 440 slugging, with 11 stolen bases in 14 games. Meanwhile, Carson Hansen 341 average, 402 on base, 534 slugging, 11 stolen bases, 2 home runs, 9 doubles in 26 games.
Hanselman hits one out to Zackerson, and he makes the catch. Jack McKillips, the right fielder, is next.
Another person that we won't be seeing today because they're on the other team, Eric Zuberbier, also playing for Menasha.
Yeah, he's kind of like a two-time, not a two-way player, but a two-team player. When I talked to him at the opening practice and they had a little get-together where fans could meet the players, I asked him about that, and he said, well, he planned on playing state league games with us when he could. And, of course, NEW games with the Menasha Max. Hanselman just added, guy who flew out to right, added to our roster for state league games. Can't have enough players. Players come and go at this level. Charlie, back in the day when I played, and probably up into the early 2000s, there just wasn't the same kind of movement. The Woodbat League, the Northwoods League, has really created a lot of changes in like town teams like we have here. There's a line drive base hit to center. Brings up the number 3 hitter and center fielder, Nolan Harkey.
Neese with a good attempt on the ball there. Nice dive, but not quite able to get it. Ends up going in for a single for McKillips. Ryan Flesch on the year, 2.04 ERA, 128 walks plus hits per innings pitched, with 88 strikeouts and 33 walks in 53 innings.
He's been a workhorse. He's got the most innings pitched on the staff, doesn't he? Yeah.
By a decent margin, too.
Yeah, he's about... Dylan Davis had 41 and a third, and Reclitis has 41 and 2/3.
About 11 innings more than anyone else.
Yeah. He's been a workhorse for sure. So what'd you do on your day off yesterday?
Mostly just...
You didn't come to the park and sweep or anything, did you?
No. Thought about it, but...
Come on.
That's a bit of a drive for me, so...
Breaking ball is fouled off. A little chilly tonight, but basically a nice evening. Game time temperature 68 degrees and cloudy, overcast.
Decent bit of wind out going to left.
Yeah, the flag is blowing pretty good.
Now, a number of promotions going on at the park, including we have some mascots in here we can see at the bottom of the screen.
Hey, is that your school mascot down here? The GB?
No, I didn't go to UWGB.
Oh, it's
St. Norbert.
Oh, that's right, St. Norbert. You're a Lutheran boy at a Catholic school.
Yep.
That's right. Schnell with a good release. They got him. Justin Schnell with a fine throw down to second, and Neese putting a tag on him. Got him by plenty. John Coons, our base umpire, and Steve Walsh behind the plate tonight. So mascot night, huh?
Mascot, I believe we also do have a troops night out here today.
Oh, I know what it is, too. Model railroading night.
Right, I did see those.
Our national anthem singer, Leo Schneider, is a member of that crew, and he's sung the national anthem for like 3 or 4 years in a row now, each night that they have their special night at the ballpark. Leo and I sang in a choir over at church for a number of years. CJ's mom sang in the choir, but she sang in a real choir. Strikeout for Harkey. And at the end of a half inning of play, no score.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier factory authorized dealer.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Sheboygan comes into tonight's game 25-17, and in the Northwestern League, they are 4-6. And playing the first place team, a win tonight would mean a lot. Leading off for Sheboygan is Riley Palmquist. Nice stop by Brown, and the throw is in time. Johnson playing second base. He made the play. Bennett Becker is up next. Bennett is out in left field.
That one just a very nice play over at second by Drew Johnson. Rolling through, making sure to get the throw on target.
Boy, I thought that was out into right field for a hit, but Johnson, like you said, made a fine play. Lenzendorf is over at first base for Menasha. Johnson at second. Brown at third. Hanselman is the shortstop. Sita in left. Harkey in center. McKillips in right. Burring is the catcher, and we mentioned that Grable is the pitcher for the Macs. Becker fouled that one back. The count sits at 2-2.
Becker having a fairly decent year at the plate, 239 average, 311, 318 for on base and slugging, with 7 doubles. He's played quite a bit this year. A good utility piece for Sheboygan.
Draws a walk. That brings up Harry Stelt with Hansen and Council not with the team anymore. Only Brady Zachrison is ahead of Harry in hitting. Harry hitting .325.
.325 and probably a little bit more impressively, 28 walks on the year, bringing him up to a .477 on base. Getting on base in basically half of his plate appearances.
Yeah, that's very impressive. Pitch in there for a strike, evens the count at 1-1.
CG pointing out Harry is also in the lead for hit by pitches with 7 times that he's been plunked.
So that's 35 times on base without a hit.
Excluding, of course, fielder's choices, errors.
Well, I'm just saying, you know,
yeah.
Not that kind of stuff. Harry lines that one foul down the right field side.
Harry also the team leader in RBIs with 29 on the year. Had it
that
quite
that 2-2 pitch makes it 3-2 now. See if Bennett Becker is on the move. He is. Ball is fouled back.
Harry definitely going to be someone who's missing Carson Hansen in terms of the RBIs. Hansen very good at getting doubles right ahead of him.
Throw to first is in time, but throw to second is in time for the force. But the relay throw to try and get Harry is not in time, so Harry reaches on a fielder's choice. A nice play by Hanselman. Brady Zachrison up. Brady out and right.
As you said, Hanselman a pretty good play there, but looked like Johnson kind of choked up on it a little bit. Took a little bit of hesitation to throw it. Allowed Harry to get on to first.
Brady with 15 extra base hits, 9 doubles, 3 triples, and 3 home runs. Boy, if you get one up in the air to left, Charlie, you'd have a chance with that wind blowing out the way it is.
Brady overall 340, 393, 440 as a triple slash for an 833 on base plus slugging.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that ends the first inning with neither team scoring. When we come back for the second, Menasha will have Lenzendorf leading off.
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. Serious? Yeah. Are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Why so serious?
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. Serious? Yeah.
He had a nice, Danny had a nice echoes from the dugout the other night, and he brought up some of the things that the A's have been involved with over the years. One of the more famous ones being at the Armory on stage with Bob Hope and presenting Bob Hope with a Sheboygan A's jacket. I don't know if Bob Hope rings a bell for you. He's a very famous performer back in the 40s and 50s and 60s.
That's a little bit before my time, by a couple years.
Yeah, that's a good thing, Charlie. Nothing to feel bad about there. Nick Lenzendorf, the first baseman, takes that first pitch for a ball. Lucas Schulze not here tonight. I think he's off playing Summer League basketball.
Unfortunately, not NBA Summer League.
No,
Going
not,
on right now.
not in the G
It's
League.
A little bit early for that.
Might be seeing Lucas playing for Lutheran High this basketball season. Chris Wright and I are hoping to get over there and do some live streaming for them. Leadoff walk for Lenzendorf. That'll bring up Ryan Sita.
Brad, someone that we know, a lot of strikeouts, lots of walks as well. That's his 34th. Still a pretty decent walk rate, less than 1 per inning, which always good to have that.
I was thinking a good rate, Charlie, really is about maybe 2 every 9 innings, or 3. You know, he's what is he, over 4, right?
I'd have to double check.
Yeah, you don't have to do that, but
I'll get that between innings.
On July 21st, Too Cool, the former Sheboygan A's house band, will be in concert at the ballpark starting at 6 p.m. We have a game that night, so you might want to get here early and listen to Too Cool. They're always very entertaining. On the 21st, we play Appleton that night. It's a 7:30 start. Like I said, the concert will be at 6. Sita goes down on strikes, and that brings up Drew Johnson. Johnson made that fine play at second base to retire Ryan Palmquist.
Talking between innings about how Ryan Flesch, Ricklitis both are top pitchers and very different from them. Ryan Flesch currently with a, I believe 20 or so, yeah, a little bit over 20 strikeout advantage, but also now up to 30 more walks.
Yeah,
but
that's maybe the more concerning one right there.
But I checked Ricklitis' stats. 0.86 walks per 9.
Yeah, he's got excellent control. Him and Schmitty don't walk many. But you mentioned earlier that Eric Schmitz might be done for the year. Breaking ball's in there for a strike. That evens the count at 2-2. There's one out. Lenzendorf still on at first base. He led off with a walk. Well, just off the outside corner, very close. Walsh gave it a good look. Good fastball by Brad, and notice how he did a long pause on the mound trying to hold Lenzendorf. That brings up the designated hitter for the Max, Ryan Hinsky. Went down and said hello to Ryan. We go way back. I remember taking flights out to spring training with my wife, and Ryan and his dad and his mom would be taking trips out there to watch Cubs spring training because their son Eric played with them. Actually played with Toronto to start his career. He was a Rookie of the Year, Eric Hinsky. Ryan, quite a ball player in his own right. Played against his dad, Mark Hinsky, in Legion Ball when we were in high school. Ryan is a teacher and a football coach over at Kimberly High School.
Brad, 2 strikeouts in this inning, a 14.7 K per 9 rate.
Ooh, that was up. I think you said 14.3 the other day when we were talking about
there.
it. Hinsky just getting a piece of that one.
Well, that does somewhat get offset by the over 5 walks per 9. But still, Brad makes it work. Again, mentioned this before, 2.04 ERA. Doesn't allow many runs.
Good breaking ball for called strike 3. After the leadoff walk, Ryan Flesch took care of business, striking out 3 MAC batters. After an inning and a half, no score.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support organizations like Hope House Mission and New Hope Shelter that give people around here warmth, shelter, and care.
Me spells the great taste of Sheboygan.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot.
Oh, so hot!
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 4, tea time.
What are you, having tea with the queen? Hello. Nice.
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Davis Wilson coaching over at first base for Sheboygan. Tim Moyer was over at third last inning. I assume he'll be over there in the second inning. Jacob Neese will be leading it off for Sheboygan. You got some numbers on Jacob, don't you, Charlie?
Do. 269 average to go alongside a 349 on base and 425 slugging. One of the top hitters on this Sheboygan A's team, just behind Brady Zackerson and Harry Stelt in terms of OPS. 3 home runs, 27 RBIs, 10 doubles, and a triple for all that.
His 10 doubles lead the ball club. Jacob over at second base again tonight. I was looking at the right column, wasn't
Yep.
I?
I was checking the games played. Nice, one of the people to play the most, only behind Gus Walker, the only person who has played every single game so far this year. Nice missed one game.
There's a drive out into the gap in left center field. That's going to drop, go all the way to the wall. Jacob cruises around first and is in second with a stand-up double. Number 11.
Further solidifying that doubles lead that you just mentioned.
Right on cue, Charlie.
Exactly.
Are you taking notes?
Well, usually when I say something good about some player, then they do the opposite.
They do the best. Yeah, they do the opposite.
Still don't know when you have the commentator's magic touch and when you don't.
Jimmy stepping in to bat. We haven't seen him in a couple games. I think he played up in Appleton the other night.
.257 average, .407 slugging, 8 doubles and 3 home runs.
Yeah. Jimmy had a double up in Appleton.
Fourth best hitter still with the team. Hanson counts with some of the top hitters for Sheboygan, but of course now playing in Northwoods.
We mentioned Jimmy started his college career at Grand Canyon University in Phoenix, Arizona. Then he went to Concordia of Nebraska, I believe. And now he's at Concordia of Wisconsin down in Mequon, or in that area. Ball gets past the catcher, Bering, and that allows Nice to trot over to third base. Brown, the third baseman for the Max, is playing up even with the bag. If Jimmy can hit one to first, second, or short, he should be able to get the run home. Another ball that gets by the catcher. Doesn't bounce back either. And Nice with the chest slide into home plate scores. Sheboygan's on the board. They lead it 1-0.
I was about to say, we've had a lot of those where we have a runner on third, get a ground ball, and they've thrown it home.
Who was that guy? I think who was that guy that did those funny slides that one night?
I don't remember the name. That was for, oh my God, when was that? Hold up, we got to go to our previous games. I'll remember the team.
Might have been a Ripper game.
Maybe.
Doesn't seem like it was that long ago.
I think it was Appleton.
Anyway, we got a run. Jacob didn't necessarily have to slide like that, but he did. And Jimmy draws a walk. We got a leadoff double. Jacob advanced on a pass ball and then scored on a wild pitch, and now Jimmy draws a walk, and that brings up Ian Mary.
And one big thing about the wild pitch that ended up scoring, I think the catcher, Bering, didn't really have rushed to the ball behind the plate. Seymour, he's frustrated with himself on that one. Kind of just jogged over to the ball at the backstop.
The other thing that worked in our favor was we've seen plenty of balls get by the catcher and seem to bounce right back to home plate off that cement barrier. But not that time. Ball stayed right by the warning track.
Yeah, I've seen a lot bounce off of the Bud backstop. No one's sitting there today. Pretty decent seats. Free, what is it? I think it's free unlimited beers as well as peanuts for the backstop.
Oh,
2 free beers. Unlimited popcorn and peanuts, 2 free beers. Unlimited free beers would be a bit much.
How about 2 peanuts and free beer?
Ooh.
Ian Mary draws a walk. Sheboygan with runners on at first and second and nobody up. nobody out, and Justin Schnell up, and the pitching coach for Menasha coming out.
Schnell, someone who we've usually seen behind the dish for Sheboygan, has struggled in hitting, but has been a very, very good defender for Sheboygan. Only a 132 average. But, hold up, we got a live search for 12 assists as a catcher. It's very good.
He had a really great throw back in the first inning to get a base stealer.
13 assists. Live updates. Schnell has managed to get on base a decent bit more, about 12% more often on base compared to his hitting. So drawing a fair few walks.
Justin takes that first pitch up. That's ball 1.
10 walks on the year so far for Schnell.
Couldn't lay off the high hard one there. Waiting on deck is Gus Walker. Foul ball makes the count 1-2. There's nobody out. A run is in. Be nice to get a couple more. Pretty nice crowd in the ballpark tonight.
Pretty active one, too, for our dance contest.
Yeah,
Chicken
not too
dance
bad.
Going on between innings.
Justin hanging in there.
This is something that doesn't really show up on the box score, but I have noticed quite a bit with Schnell's at bat, is that he does fight it off for a long time. Manages to work some pretty long counts in terms of fouling balls off.
Ball in the dirt. Good stop by Bering. He's going to throw it down. They got the runner picked off. Jimmy got a little too far. And the Bering with a great throw. Throw down to get Jurgensen.
Some pretty good defensive play there by Bering, managing to keep it in front of him. Jimmy had noticed that a few pitches before, he'd gotten past, thought that would be the same here, but instead Bering kept it in front, ends up throwing him out.
Bering, it looks like he's catching with a brand new catcher's mitt. He's having trouble keeping it in the pocket. Full count to Schnell. Mary still on first, but there is one out. And that ball looked a little bit up, but Schnell not able to foul it off and winds up going down on strikes.
Center fielder, number 15, Gus Walker.
Walker does have a low batting average, but he does have 7 extra base hits.
One of those situations where the batting average doesn't quite tell everything. A 621 on base plus slugging, so he's walking quite a bit. He does have a good few extra base hits. 4 doubles, 2 triples, and a home run, alongside 15 stolen bases. So anytime he is getting on base, he's making it count.
Turning those singles into doubles.
Turning singles into doubles, turning walks into doubles, essentially, as well.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Just with 16 walks on the year. One of the higher marks on the team. Tied with Brady and just behind Harry. Though, I feel like no one's going to be catching up to Harry's walks in the year. Solid 12 ahead of second place.
And a good breaking ball gets Walker, and after 2 complete, still, check that. Sheboygan on top, 1-0. They got that run on the wild pitch by Nice. So after 2, Sheboygan 1, Menasha 0.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come. Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
Ben Behring is going to lead off the 3rd inning for Menasha. Ben had a good play after one not so good play, but he is the catcher for Menasha, and you got to give him credit. He's working hard back there and made a nice throw down to second to get Jimmy Jurgensen.
We'll say he had an eventful bottom of the 2nd.
Let's keep him off base, so he looks like a catcher that can run. I was looking at that run that we scored, Charlie, and trying to figure out if it'd be earned or not. So Jacob started with a double. He went to 3rd on a pass ball, and that's leads to being not an earned run. But then he scored on a wild pitch, which wild pitches would count as earned runs. But when you look at the rest of our hitters, nobody did anything to really advance Jacob to 3rd, which he did on a pass ball. So I'm not sure if that's going to be an earned run or not. I got it listed as not for right now. Behring hits one up in the air, but Zach Risson in short right field makes the catch. And that brings up Devin Brown, 3rd baseman. Little looping fly ball into short right, and that's going to drop for a hit. That takes us back to the top half of the order with Chase Hanselman, the shortstop.
Brown, not the strongest hit out there, but it's just in that spot where not really anyone has a chance to even get that.
Nope. That's called hitting them where they ain't.
Last bet, Hanselman had a pretty decent fly ball out to right, but Brady not needing to move all too much for it.
Got Becker in left, Walker in center, and Zach Risson in right. 3 really good outfielders. 1-1 is the count. There's one out. We're in the top of the third. Ball is driven out to right. Zach Risson is not going to get to it. It drops in. Walker hustles the throw in. And running it in is Neese. And now Menasha has runners on second and third off that Hanselman double.
Gus Walker did a good job to cut it off out in center. Potentially saved the run. Would have been a close play. Instead, keeping the runner over at third.
Jack McKillips, the right fielder, is up. Jack reached on a hit. Here's where Ryan Flesch could really use a couple of strikeouts. Infield comes in, at least at the corners.
Last time McKillips had a slow dribbler right up the middle. Neese nearly getting a glove on a dive. Same kind of hit would definitely be in position for Neese to get.
0-2 is the count. Menasha has runners on second and third, but there's only one out. Swing and a miss. Strike three. That's number 5 for Ryan Flesch, and that was a big one.
Was just about to go through it and count off how many strikeouts he had. So, thank you for doing that
Beat
for
you
me.
to it. You can have the next one, Charlie.
I'll have to figure out.
Nolan Harkey is up.
Figure out if I remember what comes after 5.
Stop over at Jefferson. We teach them that.
I mean, baseball, you don't usually have to count anywhere past 4 at a time.
By the way, I'm talking about Jefferson Elementary
Yep,
School.
yep.
In case our viewers don't know, that was the school I did most of my teaching here in Sheboygan. They'll do some subbing over there, too. Ball fouled straight back, makes it 0-2. Saw Mrs. DeStefano, the guidance counselor over at Jefferson this morning. She was playing pickleball with her friends. Brad tried to get a little extra on it and came in high, makes the count 1-2. 2 outs. Sheboygan hoping to escape with no runs scored by the Macs. Two and two. Wind is blowing straight out the center now. Walker pretty deep out there.
All right, taking a pretty long pause before this next pitch.
Ball is hammered out to right. Zackerson racing back, and makes the over-the-shoulder catch on the warning track for out number 3. And Menasha fails to score in the top of the third.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold. Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
The estimated hold time is now less than 96 minutes.
Back at Wildwood Park with Sheboygan getting ready to start their half of the third inning. And we're at the top of the order. Palmquist. Riley hit what looked like was going to be a base hit to right field, but second baseman for the Max, Johnson, made a great play to throw him out. See if Riley can get a hit this time.
Riley, a very reliable infield piece for Sheboygan. He's played a decent bit around mostly that middle infield spot. He's played a little bit of third as well on the air.
There's a line drive out to right. Making a diving attempt, and the catch is McKillips. And Palmquist is robbed for a second time in the ball game. That brings up Bennett Becker.
CJ complaining about how good defenses have been against us. Yeah. Very nice diving play there by McKillips.
Jack Grable makes that pitch with that fall back, makes a count to Becker 0-2.
Becker, another reliable utility piece for Sheboygan. Started off the year in left field. Strikes out there. Started off the year in left field. Carson Hansen, while he was here, usually playing out in left. Now with Hansen moving on to the Northwoods League, Becker back at home in left.
Yeah, some of those guys that would be moved around a lot, like Becker, may see more steady positions out in left field now. That may be his spot.
Jackson getting a lot of work, our ball boy.
Here with a drive out to right. McKillips laying out again and makes the catch. Wow, another diving catch, and you could see his glasses come spilling off of his head. But he's on his knees right now, but it looks like he's going to be okay. But another great play by that young man, and that ends the third inning for Sheboygan.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier Factory authorized dealer.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs.
Leading off the fourth inning for the Macs will be their first baseman, Nick Lenzendorf. We were talking batting averages and OPSs and all that kind of fancy business, and Sheboygan's team batting average coming into tonight was 257, which is respectable. And their combined on-base and slugging percentage, the OPS was 720, which is respectable too as a team. There's a line drive out the center. Walker coming in and makes a catch. It's not only Jack McKillips that can make those diving catches. We got a really good center fielder in Gus Walker, and he showed it right there.
Feels like it's been a long time since Sheboygan has actually made one of those plays instead of having plays like that being made against them.
I'll tell you, that last catch in the third inning by Brady out and right was a dandy. You know, going back and catching it over his shoulder as he hit the warning track. Sita with a swing and a miss on that first offering. Charlie, you get the strikeout number on this next strikeout. Are you ready?
I'll have to remember what comes after 5.
He's got 1 ball and 2 strikes on Sita. He could be getting another strikeout. Ooh, that looked pretty good.
Well, it must have just been a hair outside.
Yeah. 2-2.
Generally, this umpire group pretty respectable around here. We've seen them quite a bit.
Yep. Steve Walsh is a good one. Didn't check his swing, so Sita strikes out.
I'm pretty sure the number after 5 is 6. Pretty sure that's number 6 for him.
6 strikeout of the ball game for Rindfleisch. Drew Johnson was a strikeout victim his first time up.
Brad working through this game a lot quicker than his last affair that we had a pitch count on, currently at around 58 pitches with that one.
And looking at my score sheet, we've had no ground balls to the infielders. It's either been a strikeout or a flyout. And Zackerson's got 3 of the flyouts.
I believe on hits, only 1 was a ground ball too, which was that grounder by McKillips in the first.
Pitch outside. Johnson mentioned he was a strikeout victim his first time up. He's sitting at the plate now with a 1 ball, 2 strike count. There's nobody on. We're in the 4th inning, and there's 2 outs. Oh, good fastball by Rindfleisch. And that ends the 4th inning. Still, Sheboygan 1, Menasha nothing.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. Serious? Yeah, are you serious? Yeah, I'm serious. Why so serious?
Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
Another highlight from Denny's Echoes from the dugout being on the Wild Center stage with Scott Stengel for our Cisco Kid and Poncho skit. It was for one of the 4 Guys in Dinner Jackets shows that we brought in. I can remember my wife going to 4 Guys in Dinner Jackets. It was quite a show. Those guys are very talented. But I don't remember the Cisco and Poncho skit. Brady Zackerson leading off Sheboygan's half of the 4th. Sheboygan on top 1-0. Jacob Neese scoring on a wild pitch.
Grable working pretty well into this game as well. Around 56 pitches for him on the day. Him and Brad are around the same pitch count coming into their respective fourth innings of work.
You know, we talked about Brady and having all those extra base hits. He's got a good favorite player for that kind of hitting. Jose Bautista. You remember him?
Bautista.
He hit a long ball.
One of the best bat flips in MLB history in the 2015 ALDS.
Wow, Charlie.
I think that was the year.
That's impressive. I don't remember that one. I thought the All-Star game was pretty entertaining the other night. Fly ball out to center field. Harkey takes it in easily. Brings up Jacob Neese. Neese doubled and scored. The only run of the ball game in the second inning.
I don't remember the stats from last year. Those were well past, but not sure I recall Brady being near the top of the team in hitting. So very fitting for Jose Bautista. Started off his career as one of the worst players in the MLB and eventually became a pretty multiple-time All-Star, I believe. And Brady right now turning his, having a fantastic year out here for Sheboygan.
There's a bouncing ball to Brown. Got a glove on it, but bounces away. That'll go as an E5. Somebody's getting a Butterburger here at the ballpark. Brings up Jimmy Jurgensen. Jimmy walked his first time up. Had a good rip at that one, but fouled it straight back. Count is now 0-2. Good stop by Bering. Keep Neese at first. Jacob has 3 stolen bases on the year, Charlie. Trouble is, he also has been caught 4 times. But 7 times he's been on the move.
Can't really imagine that he's going to be super aggressive with a lefty on the mound.
Ian Mary waiting on deck. Jimmy trying to go to left field. Fouled it off.
hoping to break a little bit of a lefty-lefty matchup.
I was thinking about that game the other day when Reclitus won that game 2-0, and Jacob drove in the only 2 runs. Called strike 3. Good pitch by Grable. But one thing we hardly ever see Jacob do is hit the ball to right field. And you remember that ball went right down the line.
Right.
And you could see it bounce fair because the white line was still there. We don't have much of a white line tonight. But he hardly ever goes to right field, and yet that's what won us the game. 2 outs. Jacob still on first. Ian takes that first pitch for a strike. That pitch in the dirt. And Jacob races down to second base. Now a base hit to the outfield. Could score a run. Jacob will be running on anything hit with 2 outs.
Bering never really much of a chance on that one. Did have a little bit of trouble picking up the ball, but wouldn't really matter.
Yeah, Jack Grable's had some bouts of wildness, mainly in that second inning when he allowed Neese to go to third. We called it a pass ball, but it wasn't a very good pitch. And then, of course, Jacob scored on the wild pitch. Bouncing ball up the middle. Johnson, one hands, and makes a nice play. And that ends the 4th inning for Sheboygan. After 4 complete, Sheboygan still on top, 1-0.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the expert.
Ryan Hankey, the center fielder for Menasha, will lead off the 5th inning. Brad Reinflush has been tossing a beauty so far.
About 61 pitches so far in this game. Meanwhile, Jack Grable around 71. As always with me doing the pitch count myself, within a few pitches.
Hey, close is fine. Close enough for government work.
Exactly.
Ryan Hinsky is up. Ryan has played with the Max for a long time. Seven, 8, 9 is the part of the batting order Reinflush will face here in the 5th. Menasha, no runs, 3 hits, 1 error. Sheboygan, 1 run, 1 hit, and no errors. been interesting, Charlie, watching the direction that the flag has been blowing throughout the game. It's blowing out to left again.
Had a bit where it was going out into center. Now, as you said, back out into left field. We can bring that on our camera. There we go.
Yeah, you can see it pretty clearly, too. It's a line drive to the gap in right center field. Sacrison, another diving catch. Oh, my. Have a night, Brady.
Something in the air tonight. Diving catches all over the place. Brady seeing what work McKillips did out in right field with diving catches and said, you know what, I want to get in on the action.
Yeah, he certainly did. Ben Bering, the catcher, is up next. Ben flew out to right. For Brady, that was his 4th catch of the ball game.
He's been active out there in right field. Had that diving catch just now, as well as a nice over-the-shoulder catch with a few feet, or with maybe a few steps to go until the warning track, which ended the inning when there were runners on base. Saved 2 runs with that catch. This one just starting the inning off strong.
And Bering couldn't check his swing. That's strike 3. Strikeout number
8.
I got set. Oh, yeah, you're right. It is 8. Here it is 8. I'm glad I didn't say anything, Charlie.
It's a very good thing for Sheboygan's defense. Rather to be doing very well. 75 errors on the year for Sheboygan.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Today, defense has been very strong up through these first 4 2/3.
Oh, and 2 is the count to Devin Brown. Devin singled, hit that little looper out to right that dropped between Jacob and Brady.
Brad, not someone who always needs to rely on the defense behind him, not someone like a Dylan Davis or an Eric Schmitz where they're a pitch-to-contact person. But having the defense behind you, always something that you're going to appreciate.
He's appreciating his outfielders tonight. And then we got Bennett Becker out in left, and he's getting kind of bored. He hasn't had any action yet.
And not even either of the...
Hey, another fastball that a Mac batter couldn't catch up with, and that's another strikeout, and that ends the 5th inning. When Sheboygan comes up in the bottom half, they'll have Schnell, Walker, and Palmquist.
At Northwoods, we're protecting you through this pandemic and the next.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you shop for more than yourself. You help support sustainability in all our communities.
Thank you.
Today, tomorrow, and for years to come.
Justin Schnell stepping into the batter's box, getting ready to hit.
Schnell done a very good job behind the plate so far. He's gotten a lot of putouts with the strikeouts that Brad Reinflesch has gotten.
Jack Grable still on the mound for the Max. He's pitched a nice ball game so far. He's been outdone by Brad Reinflesch, however.
Grable has had a little bit of command issue in the day so far, and maybe some of that is, like you said, maybe Beering's trying out a new glove, has not really been able to keep hold of some of them, but as you said, still a very nice game. Holds Sheboygan's offense to only 1 hit so far.
Last pitch called a strike. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
And Sheboygan's offense just 1 hit and 3 walks. The important thing is that run.
Comes a 3-1 pitch. Way inside. And a good start for Sheboygan with a leadoff walk in the 5th inning. That brings up Gus Walker.
Schnell, no stolen bases on the year, but we have seen that he does have a decent bit of speed. Played left field in a few games already this year.
Yeah, we've talked about that. Oh, Walker gets hit on the first pitch. And that puts runners on first and second again for Sheboygan. And there's nobody out, which was also the case the last time we did it. Palmquist up next. It'll be interesting to see what Tim Moyer does here, if he decides to bunt him over or let Riley swing away. Riley's hitting some tough luck tonight. Second baseman for Menasha robbed Riley of a base hit in the first, and McKillips, the Mac right fielder, robbed Riley of a base hit in the third. And Grable digging a hole he's going to have trouble climbing out of. It's a 2-0 count to Riley.
So far, Riley hasn't even shown bunt yet.
I don't think he is. Although, you know, I've played with some managers. They'll give you a swing, and if you don't make contact on the first swing, then they want you bunting. I don't think Tim does that.
He was taking some signs earlier, but I believe those were just making sure if there was going to be a bunt call.
Whoa, Bering threw that one right back to Grable, and he barely caught it in the glove. He almost got hit on the wrist. 3-1. Schnell at second, Walker at first. There's a drive out to left. Not real deep. Sita makes the catch out and left. Brings up Bennett Becker.
Left fielders for both teams have been pretty quiet. They've not been too active today. Sita has had a few times where he's gotten balls out into left field, that being just his first putout in left. Our right fielder's out on today, getting a lot of work.
Nice breaking pitch for a strike. Call strike 3 on a pitch that looked like it was inside, but the umpire thought it caught the plate. what looked like Grable was getting into a huge jam with allowed the first two hitters to reach, and then he had 2-0 on Palmquist. Now he's got 2 outs, but he does have Harry to contend with.
The Sheboygan 3-4, a very, very strong unit with Harry and Brady.
Well, see if Harry can come through in the clutch. Good speed at second, and Schnell. Be a great time for hit number 2.
Looks like a fairly decent pitch to hit there, but Harry looking for something a little bit better.
Up the middle and through into center field. A base hit. Schnell around third. He's going to come in and score. Ahead of the throw, Harry with an RBI single, and Sheboygan leads 2-0.
And just like you said, so far, 2 for 2 on predictions with the hits. Calling out the doubles, which Nice followed with and later scored, and now Harry with hit number 2. Grounder right up the middle, right next to the legs of Jack Grable. And get an RBI on the day.
Brady with an opportunity for a 2-out hit. Gus Walker had to hold up at second on that throw in from Harkey. But again, Sheboygan with really good speed at second base. A base hit to the outfield should score a run. Ball popping out of the mitt again of Bering. Goes as a pass ball.
I was about to say Sheboygan fairly decent on the stolen base front, 63 on the year, but no need for stolen base on this one.
Bouncing ball to short. A strong throw across, goes into off the glove of the first baseman. And Sheboygan with another run on a bad throw by the shortstop.
Brady not able to go to second on the bad throw. Tripped up a little bit on the base because of Lenzendorf trying to get the catch. But still will end up scoring a run.
And that's a big one. Makes it 3-0. Jacob up. Jacob has Sheboygan's only hit, has one of the 2 hits in the ball game. Harry with the other one. Got that 2-out single for an RBI this inning. Now an error leads to another run. Another ball that gets by Bering. Harry scores on the pass ball. Sakerson ends up at second, and it's a 3-run inning now for Sheboygan. Jacob with a 2-0 count. I know we've talked several times during the game, Charlie, about Grable and being a little bit on the wild side, but Bering hasn't done him any favors either. And that's ball 4. Jimmy Jurgensen up, and Menasha's manager is coming out to talk to his pitcher. We'll have to see what he's going to do here. Menasha did not come down with a lot of players. I think they only have maybe 11 or 12 guys.
I believe they just have two people on their bench plus their manager, just walking off now, Rex Bayer. He is also marked as a player. Could be potentially coming in, but so far no changes out there for Menasha.
Quick visit to the mound. Charlie mentioned he's leaving Grable out there. It's 4-0 Sheboygan. Jimmy with a great opportunity to drive in another run. Brady with a really good speed out at second. Jacob with good speed over at first.
I think on those swings, Jimmy was trying to score 3 runs.
Yeah, Jimmy I don't know, it looks like he's having trouble picking up the ball out of the pitcher's hand. He hasn't come close those last 2 swings.
Difficult lefty-lefty matchup. Grable getting around his 100th pitch.
Big 3 runs for Sheboygan. Swing and a miss. Jimmy goes down for the second time tonight. But after 5 complete, Sheboygan now leads it 4-0.
And mild. Enjoy. All right, guys, we got teriyaki, honey barbecue, and mild. Enjoy. All right, DOA wings, hottest on the menu.
You got a problem?
Let me tell you a story about a beer rooted in the heart of America, found in a community where a handshake is a sure contract, brewed for those who found opportunity in challenge and hope in tomorrow, raised by generations, willing to sip, share, risk, remember. This is a story bigger than beer. This is the story of the American spirit.
Back at Wildwood Park, getting ready to start the 6th inning. It'll be the top of the order for the Macs. Chase Hanselman, the shortstop. Chase had a crucial error in the 5th inning that allowed a run to score. Chase has also made some real fine plays at shortstop, too. We want to point that out.
Mentioned at the top of the broadcast that Hanselman added to the Sheboygan roster for State League games. So, could maybe say that he's already trying to help out the Sheboygan team.
Oh, I hope not. He doesn't want to do that.
Nah, just sometimes baseball, things don't quite go your way. But as you said, Hanselman has made some pretty nice plays out there. For the most part, did have a very nice double as well back in the 3rd inning. One hit pretty well out into right center field.
Yeah, that was the one where Walker picked it up and made a strong throw to the cutoff man, Neese, and that did not allow Devin Brown, who was ahead of Hanselman, from scoring. He had to stop at 3rd. And then the Macs never did score that inning. There's an electric fastball again for strikeout number 10 by Brad Reinflesch.
Brad already getting around his strikeout per 9 in the top of the 6th inning. And he's very electric on the mound with the strikeouts.
Jack McKillips, the number 2 hitter. is up. Jack singled in the first, was thrown out trying to steal in the first, and his last at bat in the third, he was a strikeout victim.
Really, McKillop's big contributions in this game has been on the field. Two fantastic diving catches, one of which I don't believe you could actually see on the broadcast just because of laser camera.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Our camera doesn't quite catch that much of the line.
I think the first one we could see on there.
1 ball and 2 strikes. This is a count to McKillops. It's that one, a looper out to left, and Becker's going to have some action now. Picks it up, makes a strong throw to second base, holding McKillops to a single. And that brings up Nolan Harkey.
That one just corked loose from Becker. Maybe a little bit frustrated that it took him up until the 6th inning to get any action out in the field.
That hit, Charlie, ends a 9-batter streak by Ryan Flush. Retired 9 in a row until McKillop singled.
And in those 9, 5 were strikeouts. So Ryan Flesh still doing very, very well. Out on the mound, around 80 pitches now. Six of them. I missed the one that was in this inning when I was going through my scorebook.
I missed one before, too. It's like they're all Ks.
It's like I alluded to earlier. I never learned how to count past 5. How am I supposed to find that 6th one?
1-1 is the count to Nolan Harkey. Our next live stream and Sheboygan's next game will be Saturday, July 15th. They play Lombard in a doubleheader. And then on the 16th, Sunday, they'll have another doubleheader. That one will start at 1 p.m. So we have this game tonight, Thursday, and then a doubleheader weekend against Lombard, Saturday and Sunday.
4 games against the same team, all in 2 days. Seem going to be very acquainted with each other. Lombard usually near the top of the league. Not sure if what the standings are right now. Lombard half a game ahead of West Allis for first. I'll trust CJ on this one. He's the guy who's in charge of a lot of the website stuff, I think.
In a game back on June 11th, Sheboygan beat Lombard 2-1. Brad Reinflesch, I think it was through that game. Pardon me, I think it was Jared Recolaitis. Pop up on the infield, Jacob calling for it, and Neese makes a catch. And that brings up Nick Lenzendorf, the first baseman.
You know, I believe we mentioned with Menasha, we've only faced them one time this year. We're supposed to face them earlier, now with a game rescheduled for the 24th, being 2 Mondays from now.
That's right.
First and
July 24th, and that's against Menasha, you said?
Yep.
And then I think, wasn't it on the 27th, we have a makeup game with Kewaskum?
27th or 26th for the Kewaskum game. It's 27th. You were right.
And it doesn't look like we're going to be making up that game against the Greenville Stars. That was an exhibition game, so there's not going to be any makeup of that game. We're in the top of the 6th. Sheboygan on top 4-0. There are 2 outs. McKillop's still on first. Two and 1 is the count to Nick Lenzendorf.
We're at around 90 pitches so far in his outing.
Another good fastball.
Generally, a lot of times you'll see starting pitchers get, 4 or 5 days rest. We're going to be seeing Brad on Sunday, I'm sure.
He'll want to pitch for sure. Saw
Sure.
Dylan Davis pitched a fine game Tuesday night against Appleton. And Riley O'Connell did a good job his last outing. And that strikeout ends the 6th inning. When we come back for the bottom half of the inning, Sheboygan will have the top of the order up. Check that.
The estimated hold time is now less than 96 minutes. We thank you for your patience.
Sorry, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, please hold.
Griffin Klein is now in to pitch for the Max. We'll give you Jack Grable's pitching line in just a second. Klein, another left-hander. For Grable, he went 5 innings, gave up only 2 hits, 4 runs, but only one of those was earned. He walked 5 and struck out 7. So kind of mixed results with Jack. He had some control problems.
Went through those 5 innings on 99 or so pitches.
And that's maybe why he's out. Bouncing ball. Diving stop made by Brown. His throw across is not in time. Ian Mary getting an infield hit.
Brown needing a little bit of time to get up from that dive ends up costing the potential out now. Ian Mary on first with a single.
You know, that's the second one we had tonight, Charlie. Was Palmquist led off the game with that ball I thought was going out to right field, and the infielder made a diving stop, and I thought Ian's was going out to left field, and Brown with a diving stop. Pitch in the dirt allows Ian Mary to move to second base.
Ian Mary, something that's a little bit rare from it is getting a single. Before coming into this game, 8 hits on the year, 4 of them being extra base hits, 3 doubles, and a home run for him.
Schnell with a good rip at that pitch and fouled it straight back. Justin walked his last time up and scored in that big 3-run 5th inning for Sheboygan. They lead it 4-0.
Scored off of that Harry Stout hit right up the middle. Came in from second base on that one.
Justin trying to bunt his way on. Fouled it off.
Potentially able, if that was in play, Mary might have been able to move over to third if that pulled off the third baseman.
A slow roller. Lenzendorf has it, flips to the pitcher covering, and they got Schnell on a very close play.
Still fulfills the role of getting Ian Mary over to second base, or over to third base rather. Justin Schnell just not quite able to beat out the foot race with Griffin Klein.
We had a play like that the other night with Burlington, and I mentioned that Jason Bunton, the pitcher, didn't get over in time. That time Klein did, and they're able to get the out.
Gus had a pretty quick at bat last time, got hit by a pitch.
Yeah, first pitch right on, looked like it was right on the shoulder. The throw is looked like it might have hit Ian in the leg, but in any case, it got away from the third baseman, and Ian comes in and scores on a throwing error.
Gearing, I think, did have a decent call on that play. Did kind of catch Mary off guard, but as you said, the throw did go a little bit low, ended up hitting off of, I think it was the back of Mary's leg.
You know, I agree with you, Charlie. He did get caught off the third base. A good throw might have had him.
I think the throw would have been in time, but again, ended up just hitting him.
Ball lands in the general admission seats. We don't see that very often. Thank goodness nobody got hurt.
I'm surprised no one caught that one. That's a pretty high fly ball.
I was reading an article about, I believe they're called the Banana.
The Savannah Bananas.
Say that again?
The Savannah Bananas.
Savannah Bananas. If a foul ball is caught, the batter's out. Caught by a fan.
Banana ball rules. Because they do have, it's a very interesting team. Because they do play in a league, but only their home games have they have their own set of rules.
Special rules, huh?
Yeah. Is it two different?
Riley Palmquist is up next.
Oh. Not aware that it was two different teams, CJ, from you with that.
We tell you all about the Savannah Bananas, but you're going to have to Google it because we've had some discussions up here. Oh, there's a drive to deep left. Sita's not going to catch that one. It bounces up against the wall, and they could have probably sent the runner because the cutoff man didn't handle it, but Tim Moyer stopped Gus Walker at third, and in at second is Palmquist with a double, and he wasn't going to be denied on that hit.
And with that, the second double of the day and the 71st double of the year for Sheboygan. Sheboygan very good at getting doubles.
Yeah, Becker with a chance to open up the ball game big time. It's already 5-0. There's only one out. Palmquist at second. Gus Walker at third. Good speed on the bases. Infield is in for the Max at all four positions. Oh, it hit Klein. And they were not able to pick up the glancing blow. We'll give Becker a base hit and an RBI. And Sheboygan has another run. And that brings up Harry Stelt. Harry had that clutch 2-out single to drive in a run in the 5th, and he has an RBI chance here in the 6th. And he leads the team in RBIs, right?
Yep. Now at 30. The RBI single earlier on in the day.
Menasha has not looked very good in this ball game. They have 3 errors already, and several pass balls and wild pitches, and they just haven't looked good. They haven't looked like a first-place ball club, that's for sure.
One of those games where if you look at a full highlight reel, of course CJ only editing in the Sheboygan highlights, but look at a full highlight reel, this would be like, Menasha played a really good game because they did have a lot of very good defensive plays. But
yeah, the right fielder did for sure, McKillips. Here the line drive right at Brown, and he throws back to first to kick off Becker, and that ends the 6th inning. Wow. Brownie with a good play, double play. After 6 complete, though, Sheboygan on top, 6-0.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier factory authorized dealer.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Well, tonight's 50-50 winner takes home $211. And congratulations to that fan. When we were going into the 7th inning, Brad Reinflesch still on the mound for Sheboygan, and he has a 6-0. Sheboygan has been able to break it open with 3 runs in the 5th and 2 more in the 6th. They took a 1-0 lead into that 5th inning, and they have broken it wide open, and plenty of runs to work with for Brad.
We're at 92 pitches so far, and last inning we were discussing how Menasha not playing a great game these past 2 innings, but had a number of defensive highlights and ended the inning with a defensive highlight. Line drive double play.
Yeah, it finally wasn't by an outfielder.
Yeah, finally the infield. Started off the game with an infield highlight.
Yeah, Johnson made a great play, you're right.
But now Sheboygan still firmly in the driver's seat.
Devin Brown making that catch on the line drive off the bat of Harry Stelt, and then making a very strong throw to first to double up the runner. Another strikeout. Sita down. And that brings up Drew Johnson.
Well, that is the 12th strikeout for Brad on the day. I'm hoping I didn't miss any. I think that's right.
I'm pretty sure you're right, Charlie. That's what I had.
If we both say it's right, then it's definitely right.
And we're not changing it either.
Nope. Doesn't matter what Game Changer says. Doesn't matter that that's the official scoring.
There's a human running Game Changer, too.
Yeah.
One thing we haven't mentioned throughout the night is the Snipe, the Sheboygan A's golf outing, will be on August 20th. And check the A's website for a form to sign up for that. Sheboygan Athletic Club website. Information about the outing is on that site. Sheboygan A's Club website. Drew Johnson down on strikes.
Johnson definitely frustrated with himself in this game. That's his third strikeout of the day. Ryan Ceda, the left fielder, also striking out 3 times so far.
So Johnson would have, Ceda and Johnson would have the hat trick.
Hat trick. Hopefully, we're not getting around to another at bat for the potential golden sombrero.
Ball is hit out into right center field. Walker calling off Zackerson and makes the catch. And that ends the 7th inning with Menasha getting nothing, and that's what they've gotten through the first 7 innings of the game.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support organizations like Hope House Mission and New Hope Shelter that give people around here warmth, shelter, and care.
Me spells the great taste of Sheboygan.
What does it take to stay in business for 75 years? It's not only featuring USDA choice beef. It's not caring about every single one of our 30 varieties of bratwurst. Nope. After being family-owned for 3 generations, we've learned it's about you. At Miesfeld's Market, we give back to the community, and our customers always come first. Since 1941, we've been feeding our neighbors, so come by and see what we've got today.
Wingism number 3, the Peter Heater.
Oh, so hot.
We're getting ready to start the 7th inning for Sheboygan. Brady Zackerson will lead off. Sheboygan on top 6-0. We've had a real good night against Menasha. Trying to make their season record 2-0 against the Max.
1-1 versus Menasha.
Ooh, really?
What's the Menasha game on our sheet here?
There's one up here, June 8th. That was at. That was a loss. Where is that 2-1 game that I looked at? There's a bouncing ball. Johnson on a nice. Brown on a nice pickup and throws across for the out. Nice pickup on that, Charlie. So we're going to even our record against the Max. 1-1. If we should go on and win tonight, we're hoping. I think I mentioned that 2-1 Lombard game in relation to that 4-game series coming up this weekend. against the Lombard Orioles. That's where that came in.
He's had a pretty big swing on that one. 1 for 2 on the day, but has reached base all 3 plate appearances.
Griffin Klein pitching for the Max. The slow roller. Griffin easily takes it. 2 outs in the 7th. That's going to bring up Jimmy Jurgensen. Max bring in a relief pitcher, and he has to be a left-hander too.
Jimmy, I'm sure, is hoping for a little bit of a respite from the lefty-lefty matchup, but
no dice.
Nope. Sometimes baseball just gives you a bunch of lefties.
That strike evens the count at 1-1.
Jimmy so far hasn't made fair contact against these lefties. Walked in his first plate appearance and then struck out twice. Hoping to change that now.
Jimmy came into the game tonight hitting .257. That's going to go down a little bit. And a good eye by Jimmy, draws a 2-out walk. That brings up Ian Mary.
And even though the batting average might drop, the on-base percentage will go up. 2 walks in 4 appearances.
Ian walked in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th, and singled and scored in the 6th. Ian DHing tonight. Another ball in the dirt, but Jurgensen not able to advance.
Mary's base hit coming off of a nice diving play by Devin Brown. Wasn't quite able to make the relay to first, though.
Sheboygan has 6 runs on 5 hits. Menasha, no runs on 4 hits. There's a hard hit ball, but fouled on the third base side. Ian with a 2-1 count. Well, hit up in the air to right field. McKillop's drifting over and has it, and that ends the 7th inning for Sheboygan. After 7 complete, the A's lead it 6-0.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you don't just feed yourself or your family. You help support programs like Simply Give that feed our neighbors in need.
Thank you.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor. Wingism number 2, the Joker.
Then her dad walked in. Dude, we're done eating. Use a napkin. Serious? Yeah. Are you serious?
Justin Schnell throwing down. We're getting ready to start the 8th inning. Ben Bering. Oh, we got a pinch hitter, eh? Oh, Ben Bering is the batter, the catcher. Ben is 0 for 2. Heard Bill announce a name, but I wasn't sure what the change was. Charlie's going to go over and check it out. Brad's first pitch rides high and tight. It's been a pretty quick moving game so far. Ground ball to Neese. That's not Jacob Neese. Alex Sobieski is in.
Sobojimski.
He's in for Jacob Neese. Alex is.
A new player out here for Sheboygan. I mean, we had mentioned earlier on in the broadcast there is a lot of turnover in these leagues, so sometimes we'll have players that we don't know off the top of our head. Did have a roster over by Bill, so take a quick look at that one.
Forgot to mention we got the A-team up here again tonight. Bill Wagner doing the field announcing. CJ running the enhancements and making the announcements, and of course Charlie and myself down here doing the live stream. We're making do without Lucas running the cameras. Charlie doing a great job multitasking again.
I don't need to do as well. I don't need to do quite as much with the pitch count, but oh well.
Following it off is Devin Brown.
Speaking of, I have Brad at 108 pitches, which, considering the last few appearances that we've had from
was he
Brad,
173 or something?
174 in his last one through 9.
There's a good fastball. Right on the inside corner, called strike 3.
Something we haven't mentioned yet, at least I'm assuming you didn't quite mention it, the ground out by Beering, the first ground out of the game for Menasha.
Good point. That's right. It's all been strikeouts and flyouts. Or a base hit here and there. Only one walk for Brad. Chase Hanselman swinging a miss.
Menasha just doing a good job of keeping the ball off the ground. The only other grounder in the game was the base hit by McKillips in the first. So now the count and outs match the pitch count that I have. 1-1-1 for both.
Another swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Hanselman.
No, wait, I was reading the at-bat, not the outs.
Hanselman is 1 for 3 in the game. That breaking ball just a bit outside. Looked pretty good from up here.
Schnell trying to sell a little bit, but home plate not quite agreeing.
Slow roller down the first base side. It stays fair. But the runner didn't go right away. He thought it was going to be an easy out. It went to Sobieski, and he makes the play. Another 4-3 putout, and that ends the 8th inning. Sheboygan still on top.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier factory authorized dealer.
Cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio.
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support programs like Boys and Girls Clubs and Girls Who Code that show kids they can dream anything and do even more.
Carrier asks, what does comfort mean to you? We know it means more than just the temperature. And the people who invented modern air conditioning keep inventing new ways to make you comfortable. Carrier, turn to the experts.
For your heating and cooling needs, call Advanced Comfort Systems, Sheboygan's only Carrier factory authorized dealer.
Alex Sobieski made those two putouts for Sheboygan in the top of the 8th inning. Coming in to pitch for Menasha in Sheboygan's 8th will be Chase Hanselman. He was playing shortstop earlier. And the first batter that Chase is going to face is Justin Schnell.
Menasha does have a few more defensive substitutions. Hanselman playing shortstop before pitching now.
That pitch makes the count 1-1 to Justin Schnell. We're in the 8th inning. Sheboygan with a big lead. There's a drive down the right field line. Foul ball. We mentioned our next live stream broadcast was going to be July 15th. It's a 4 o'clock doubleheader against the Lombard Orioles. Between games will be Hall of Fame induction of Grant Berkovitz. Really nice player for Sheboygan. Played shortstop. Well-deserved award for him. Look forward to seeing all the Hall of Famers that come back for those games. Bering has a play on it and makes a catch. We've mentioned earlier. Go ahead, Charlie.
It's surprising that he didn't take the mask off on that one. Usually catcher will throw the mask off, get a little bit better vision on it, but Buring.
Guess he didn't need to.
Nope.
That was a nice play by Ben. He had a little trouble locating it, but once he did, made a fine catch. Gus Walker is up. Going back to that doubleheader weekend on the 16th, Sheboygan also has a doubleheader against Lombard. Those games will start at 1 o'clock. And I think it's before the games, not between games, but before the games. They're opening up a new wing of the Sheboygan A's Hall of Fame. It's called the Contributors. And Donna Moyer, Betty Zeikert, and John Van Vagel Sr. will be inducted into that portion of the Sheboygan A's Hall of Fame. Gus not able to check his swing. Makes the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Griffin Klein went 2 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, 1 was earned, walked 2, no strikeouts.
Did so on 39 pitches.
A good fastball, but Walker able to foul it off. Call, strike 3. Gus not real happy about it. Riley Palmquist up for his 5th time in the ball game. Doubled his last time up.
Riley, even if he hasn't gotten too much fielding, has been active today. Did help with throwing the batting practice pitches before the game for Sheboygan.
Wonder if with pitching 1 inning tonight, if Hanselman would be available this weekend for pitching. It's kind of like an audition. Let's see what you can do. Riley checked his swing. 2-1. Eric Hasenstein yelling from the stands, "It's hammer time!"
Has been a little bit of a pump with the back leg when he goes in for his pitches. It staggers that a little bit.
There's a good fastball. Right on the outside corner. Evens the count at 2-2. Brad Reinflush is throwing a dandy tonight. 4-hit shutout. And swing and a miss, strike 3. When we go to the 9th, Sheboygan will have a big 6-run lead. They lead at 6-0.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about families coming together. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Wingism number 1, the Flavor Saver. Legend Larry's, the definition of flavor.
Michael Martinez in left field for the 9th inning. Mike, normally a relief pitcher, but Tim giving him a shot out there.
One of a number of players that are usually some other position, but have been playing in left field. Of course, seeing Justin Schnell out there in left, now Michael Martinez. Rex Bayer coming in to pinch hit.
Number 22. Rex Bayer pinch hitting. Now we mentioned Ryan Flesh and his outstanding pitching tonight. Maybe the biggest change that we've seen tonight with his pitching is the fact he's only got one walk, and his pitch count is way down from what we've seen in other games, and he's really had outstanding control. Seems a little unfair to put a kid like Rex up there at the bat against Ryan Flesh when he's having such an outstanding game, but it's nice to get your kids in the ball game.
I believe he's the manager for the team. Or at least on their roster page, they have him set as one of the managers.
Okay.
So, sew himself in.
Well, then it's his own fault.
Brad, just under 120 pitches on the day so far.
There's a call, strike 3. Another pinch hitter for the Max.
Steve Markheff, or Marhefke.
Steve Markepke in the hit. First pitch swinging, drives it deep to left, but foul. Martinez getting some of his road work out there, chasing after that one.
I think Martinez on that play that ended up going foul might have had a little bit more running than Bennett Becker had the entire game out in left field.
I think you're right.
Had 1 or 2 hits over to him.
Beautiful breaking ball by Brad for strike 2. Yeah, it's another breaking pitch on the inside corner that time.
16 strikeouts on the day.
I was going to say quite a night for Brad Reinflesch. Eric Zuberbier pinch hitting for Lenzendorf.
Harry playing way in. Brad just throwing it behind one of his teammates.
Could they be having a little fun?
Zero beer, no plate appearances for Sheboygan.
No, he's
at the very least.
Hasn't seen a lot of action with Sheboygan this year.
In his time with Sheboygan, 4.64 ERA, 145 WHIP, with 17 strikeouts in 21 and a third innings pitched.
Called, strike 3. So Reinflesch finishes the ninth with 3 strikeouts, all of them called, and ends the game with 11 retired batters in a row. Brad finishes the ball game, going 9 innings, 4 hits, no runs, only 1 walk, and 17 strikeouts. With the win, Ryan Flesh now has a record of 5-3 with 2 saves. The losing pitcher for Menasha was their starter, Jack Grable. And for Sheboygan, they had 6 runs, 5 hits, and no errors. Menasha, no runs, 4 hits, and 3 errors. Our next ball game will be July 15th. That's a 4 p.m. start against the Lombard Orioles. We mentioned it's a Hall of Fame night, so you'll want to tune in for that ball game. And for my partner, Charlie Heim, I'm Mike Martin saying thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you down the road.